Crow, the story of a man brutally murdered who comes back as an undead avenger for him and his fiance's deaths, all in one breath. The original 1994 cult classic starred Brandon Lee in tragically his last ever film role. We now have the first trailer for the 2024 remake starring Bill Skarsgård and FKA Twigs, directed by Rupert Sanders, who did the Ghost in the Shell live action movie and then Snow White and the Huntsman. Vanity Fair released a few images about 2 weeks or so ago. Didn't really like the image they'd given him this time round. Looked a bit too much like Jared Leto's Joker. But Bill Skarsgård, I think, has been phenomenal in everything that I've seen him in. I think he's 6'+", and the last few films he's been in, he's been ripped. So perhaps this reimagined look is going to be better once we see his performance behind it, once we see him in motion. So let's just do that. Let's not waste any more time. Leave a like on this video if you can. The new trailer for The Crow, coming up now.
What's the first thing you liked about me?
Something flying over at the beginning.
Quite brilliantly broken.
You feel like my person.
You feel like my person.
Where were they at the beginning? The pink
What's the
costumes.
worst thing you've ever done?
Pink outfits.
I saw things.
Danny Houston.
Shouldn't have seen any of it.
Please don't do that!
No. Shit. Knew it was going to happen, but still. Soundtrack.
When someone dies, a crow carries their soul to the land of the dead. And sometimes something so bad happens that the soul cannot rest.
The imagery's in there.
Until you put the wrong things right.
Kill them all.
You were
Oh.
given the power of a god. But you're running out of time to
Rebirth.
save her.
Look at him. He gets to save her as well.
I'm gonna kill them. Every single one of them.
Crow flying behind him.
And killed you? Yeah, you did.
We have a problem. He came for us.
First impulse. Anger.
Nice.
It's not anger. It's love.
Look at what you've become. You know that love promises only pain.
Feels very 90s.
You have no idea what hell awaits you. No, I do.
How many people have you loved?
I'll never be alone.
Oh, don't you? That's pretty solid, gotta tell you. That surprised me. That's pretty solid. Quite enjoyed it. The trailer at least had a very 90s aesthetic to it, and it was like a 90s cut trailer to a modern day film. Skarsgård looks great in it. Danny Houston as the bad guy, I didn't realise he was in it. That's going to be pretty solid too. There was a line in there about him saving his fiancée as well. So I can't think if that was in the original one before, whether whatever he did was saving them both. How it all worked out, I need to give it a rewatch, I think. I think the best thing I can say about that trailer, well, not the best thing, that's a bit harsh, but is that it makes me want to rewatch the first one again. They did loads of sequels, didn't they? They didn't do about 3 or 4 sequels. Fun fact, the second one, was it City of Angels with Vincent Perez? Is that correct? One of only 2 films I've ever walked out of the cinema halfway through because I just weren't enjoying any of it at all. And then they did 2 or 3 more. I think there's ones with Kirsten Dunst in, and then wasn't there a 4th one with Edward Furlong? And I'm sure they had David Boreanaz in it as well. Don't know. We're digressing. But yeah, there's loads of sequels. So it's kind of, I think a lot of people are going to be very precious about not having the memory of that original film tarnished. But I'm not so precious about it in terms of that we've already had all these other sequels that were pretty bloody dreadful, from the ones that I have seen or half seen. And this looked like a solid actioner. I wonder, I'm trying to count how many times he should have died just in that trailer. The amount of times we've seen him getting shot up and swords going through and blasted into the stomach. It's going to be good. Bill Skarsgård, I think, changes a lot of it. You know, I think what he's got is bringing a lot to that role compared to, you know, all the predecessors that we've had in the sequels, you know, not counting Brandon Lee. Visually, it looks great. Problem I've got with that is that in terms of Ghost in the Shell, I remember seeing the trailers for that and just thought how good it looked. And it was quite an empty experience, really, in the end. There's a few nice set pieces in there. I'm hoping this isn't the case here. I think the performances should give us something, some more depth, and like just a fun actioner, all done anyway. Some of that looked pretty brutal. Again, I can't remember. It's been a long time since I've watched the original one, but I can't remember it being that like hyper violent. I know there was a lot of gunplay, but just, you know, faces exploding, things like that. Don't remember it quite being so hard hitting. So I'm intrigued to see what rating this will get. Whether we'll get an 18 over here in the UK, or whether they'll downgrade it to around about a 15, sort of similar to like John Wick type stuff, or PG-13 if you're watching this from the States. But yeah, it looked really good. I can't say I'm excited to see it, but the trailer was pretty good. Soundtrack played a big part in the trailer. I remember the first film having a really amazing soundtrack, and everyone seemed to love that soundtrack at the time. So it'll be interesting again to see what we get here. At least he felt a lot less Leto to me once we've seen that trailer. So that's got to be a positive. Anyway, what did you think? Let me know. Leave those comments down below. Also, if you did like this video, please show me you did. Hit that thumbs up button. Tap subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel. If you have subscribed already, thank you. But until next time, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed that trailer. See you again soon. Be good. Bye-bye.